What's up, everyone? New day, new vlog. So I think this is probably one of the last nice days we're gonna have here in New England. I don't know, we've been getting lucky. It's December and it feels like, I don't know, end of August, early September. So got my Starbucks, you know, typical New Englander. So today I got the tranny outside mocked up on some planks, as you can see, and we're gonna go ahead and install the GKTech Z33 shortened shifter assembly. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna remove your stock shifter that's gonna sit more or less. It's tough with that on, but I can take it off. But you can see the length difference. So with the JZ, the tranny is naturally going to sit further back because it's an inline 6 instead of the V6. So it's going to push this whole thing towards the rear of the car, which means the shifter would not sit in the factory position. So this is going to let me stick it where it should be, and comes with a reverse lockout and everything. We're gonna have to set. It's a pretty nice kit. There's a lot of kits out there. I got the Collins adapter kit, but I didn't end up getting the shifter because I heard a lot of bad reviews about it. Just heard it was sloppy. When you're really like getting on the car and you're going through the gears, I heard you'd miss gears, and it just wasn't a tight shifter. So then the next one from the Collins kit was the GKTech, and then above that was the Serial 9. But I was not spending the money on the Serial 9. I mean, I drift the thing. It's not like a fancy car. So my friend is actually running a 350Z transmission in his 240SX with the GKTech shifter, and he loves it. So we're gonna go ahead and install it today. It's a little bit of a process. You gotta kind of shorten your shifter shaft over here and just a couple other things. Set your reverse lockout. So let's get to it. Come on. Then, once you got your stock shifter off, throw that thing in the trash. Alright, so looks like we just gotta knock out this. It's like a regular U-joint on a car. We just gotta knock out these caps and this whole thing will come off. So let me go get a punch and play with these and knock them out, see which one comes out. Stand by. Alright, so I actually peeled the boot back, and what secures this shifter down is this center pin that runs through the center of it and locks it into the shaft. You just got to knock it out with a nice punch. So put that here so we don't lose it. And now this thing should come off. Alright, stand by. I'm gonna have to pry on this thing a little bit. Alright, ended up getting the shifter off. So now what you're gonna want to do is take your dog leg, temporarily install it, line up your holes. It's not really a good angle. Once you're lined up, take your punch, run it through, keep her straight. Temporarily install the dog leg, and then take a Sharpie and mark your shaft so you know where to cut. All right, it's pretty good for the most part. So take our punch out, take that off, and now we'll chop this and we'll put the dog leg on, see how she fits. All right, well, once you chop this thing, there's no going back. So hopefully we cut her at the right spot, because it would suck to have to take this tranny back apart. So yeah, once you get that all cut, you're gonna want to go and put your shifter boot back on. Make sure the drain hole right here is centered towards the bottom. Kind of a pain to get this thing on. Oh, got lucky. We gone all the way around? Yeah. All right, so once you got your boot back on, what did I do with this thing? I just had it in my hand. Oh, you're gonna take your dog leg, line her up, and then you're gonna want to stick your pin back in. I wonder if they gave me a new pin, because this one's kind of rusty a little bit. Hang on. All right, so they did give me a new pin with the shifter. Got a little bit of a glare there, but focus. Doesn't want to focus. Well, we got her in. Too much glare. So next step is you want to go to install your bracket. So according to GKTech, when I'm looking over here at the instructions, they give you 2 sets of spacers. So the thin spacers are for gearboxes that are older than CD009. And this is actually the JK40, the HR transmission. So looking at this sheet, if you go to put the bracket on with just the thick ones, I don't think you need those thin ones, because you have to put a bolt and a washer on these side ones, and it sits already kind of flush. So I'm gonna mount it with just the thick ones, because if you put this thing straight, it's already like bottomed out in there against the spacer. So I'm gonna put this on with just the thick spacers and the bolt and washer down here, and we'll see how she looks. All right, bolts are on, boys. They're just snugged up, so we have a little bit of room to move the shifter around if we need it. So we got the bolt washer and the thick spacers on for the HR trans, and just the bolt and the washer on bottom. Now we're gonna go put the shifter on. So as you can see from the shifter, on any manual car mostly, you go to the right and down to set reverse. So we're gonna have to set reverse lockout on this, so make sure you put your shifter on the right way, because it only goes on one way. You're gonna go to put this in your car and the gears aren't gonna work right. So little square piece, line your bushing up in the hole. That bushing's gonna pop in that hole right there. Should. Might have to put the camera down for that. So there it is. See, we're all lined up where we need to be. You're gonna want to put a little bit of grease in there. So now you're gonna take that plate we just took off, which is in my pocket somewhere. Oh, there it is. So put that on. And these 4 screws that hold it in from the bottom. My bad, not the bottom. Top. There. You want to leave these kind of loose because remember we have to set the lockout. So these only get tightened, it looks like, to 6 foot-pounds. So we're not going to put that much on it. Snug them up for now until we get our reverse lockout all situated. Alright, so I was going to set the reverse lockout, and they don't put in the instructions if you're using an HR trans or not. They're just, the only instructions they have are for CD09. Come on, focus. Come on. Yeah, the only instructions they got, I don't know why this won't focus. The only instructions they got are for CD09 or pre-CD09. They don't have anything for the HR trans. So they tell you for the CD09 tranny to just use these thick spaces, but when I was going to set the reverse lockout, it wasn't setting right. So I put the thick and the thin one to set the gap, and it seems to be working better. So I'm gonna set the reverse lockout. What you have to do is leave. All right guys, sorry my GoPro died. I just switched batteries, threw the tranny back in the garage. So I was showing you guys how to set the reverse lockout. I actually ended up tightening all mine up, got it all buttoned up. So what you have to do is make sure that your bolts that secure the shifter to the tranny are a little bit loose. That way it can slide back and forth, and you're going to want to have these loose as well. And what that'll do is it lets you, mine's tight right now, but it'll let you shift this whole assembly back and forth. And you're going to want to throw some lube, some grease in your bearing right here, your bushing. And what you'll do when this is all loose is it'll actually let you shift this plate left and right to fill that gap between the shifter and the shifter plate. So ideally what you want is when you push down on, so I'll go through the gears. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, over 5, 6. And you see how when you're in, let's see if it'll focus, when you're in 6th gear, that pin is just touching the side of the shifter plate. So what you do is you adjust the reverse lockout with that loose until you can go down tranny's moving around. Stand up. You want to be able to go down with your shifter, and then see how it just clocked to the right and went under that plate, and you heard reverse. So now if you look inside the trans, we are actually under this plate, which means you're in reverse. Now if you have this adjusted wrong, pop it back in neutral, you'll go into reverse, and you'll just be in 6th gear. You can tell that's 6th gear by the noise difference. Then you can go right up into 5. And if I go over to the right, still 6th gear from neutral. Just like the stock trans, you go down a little bit, boom, see it popped over to the right and down. That's reverse. So that's how you adjust the lockout. Once you're done, the torque specs are on the instructions provided by GKTech. Just make sure everything's torqued down. Do a quick bolt check. These are tight, these are tight, these are tight, these are tight. And now that'll let you run the JZ and the 350Z, because if you look at the stock shifter, it actually is decently longer. Yeah, way longer. So tomorrow we'll come back to the garage and I'll throw the cross member on the bottom, the Collins one. It's slotted. I'll show you guys that. Let's move this back and forth. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like, share, follow, all that stuff. See you guys next time.